Okay, here we go. Our spring spiral perm technique. So I'll separate with big horizontal sections, working from the nape up to the occipital bone to the crown, then sides and top. The reason I chose to use a spiral perm technique is because I don't want to see too much dimension. I don't want to see like big, gigantic, poofy hair. I'd rather see like a nice, healthy curl, but rolled in a manner when it falls naturally, it'll have more of a sleek, more of a streamline effect. So thus, the spiral technique was selected. Okay, so when you're perming hair, you have to keep in mind the technical cut that you'll be doing after. We always have to make sure that the perm fits the haircut. So once the perm is finished, I'll go back and I'll cut a round concave shape. So a concave shape will remove a tremendous amount of weight, which will even give me a sleeker overall finish. So my intention with the perm is to get a nice curl, but not too much body, and just so it falls sleeker. And also the haircut technique that I'll be doing after will support the exact same intention. So intention's really important. If the haircut doesn't fit the perm, you're not doing 100%. Okay, and you have to keep into consideration throughout the perm technique, you want to keep the angle of the roots quite consistent. So as I near the sections around the ear, those angles will be different from the section at center nape because again, the head has contours. The head extends most right below the occipital bone. The head falls into a more tighter, narrow shape right behind those ears. So just keep that in mind as you're rolling your perm rods in. And again, you want consistent moisture, consistent tension. You want each strand of hair to be really smooth before you wrap it. Otherwise, you'll get like fuzzy pieces. Okay, so now as I work towards the sides, my elevation is still always below 90. I could do this exact same technique and just kill it with my elevation. I can hit like maybe 120-degree elevation. The amount of elevation, it will affect the root lift because you have to remember how the perm rod sits at the root. That will give you a tremendous amount of lift. So if you're not too aware of this fact, and you're aiming for a sleeker shape, but your elevation is really high, you are doing the exact opposite of what you intend to achieve. Okay, and with perming hair, it's not brain surgery. You just have to figure out the cut that fits with it, the type of angle that you want to put in at the roots, the type of curl you want to see when the hair falls naturally. And then once you get these key elements in play, and you have a clear focus of your end result, then the perm process is basically, it's mechanics. It's just technique. It's just consistency. You know, you don't want fish hooks, you want to roll the hair nice and consistent, and you want to keep that root lift consistent. You don't want one section with a high angle and the next section low, because as it falls, it'll just break up the entire shape. Through the front area, I'm over directing the hair slightly forward because that'll fit the way I'll be cutting the hair later on. With the haircut, it's over directed forward, and I'm cutting in these angled shapes also. So like, again, make sure that the shape that you perm fits the shape that you will cut. And then everything it'll look expensive, luxurious, it'll look 5-star because of all these minute details put together will knock your work out tremendously. So again, the perm section through the front actually mimics the exact same angle that I will be cutting later on. Okay, and by over directing the hair forward as I wrap it, again, as the hair falls, it'll put a curl into it, but I won't build up this tremendous amount of poof through the top. So with that angle, it'll allow everything to fall more sleek and streamlined. So now I'll give a brief overview of what happens with the hair chemically as we're perming the hair. So once we apply the perm solution, that perm solution, it goes in and breaks down those disulfide bonds. So disulfide bonds for straight hair, imagine like bones that are all straight, 0 degrees or 90 degrees connecting. Then we wrap them. So like with the perm solution, it breaks down those disulfide bonds to a certain extent. So once you get the curl that you're looking for, then it's time to rinse. And after we go and we rinse the hair, make sure you rinse the hair for a long time, at least like say 5 to 10 minutes. Until you want to rinse the hair till you can't really smell that perm solution anymore. Because if you still have perm solution in the hair, and then you apply the neutralizer, the mixture of those two, the two totally opposites, and it'll blow your curl. So the rinse portion is very, 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 very important. So you want to rinse it, and once the hair is rinsed, and then go in and towel blot. Once the hair is towel blot, then it's time to play with the neutralizer. And what the neutralizer does, it goes back, since the hair is still wet but it's still intertwined with the perm rod, it goes back and it replaces disulfide bonds. So these are like the bone structures of the hair. You will lose some during the perm process, but you'll keep enough so long as the hair is healthy. So it just refits those disulfide bonds to take an S shape, a curly shape, and then you process for like say 10 minutes, whatever the manufacturer recommended time is, and then rinse, and then that's what happens chemically that our eyes can't see during the perm process. Okay, and as I work through the top area, my elevation is still high, but I'm still not passing over 90 degrees. So I just want a nice geometric form that goes from full at the top and then falls into more of a sleeker shape. For the perm solution, I'm applying it with a sponge, so it'll give me the best amount of saturation per rod, and the solution I selected was for chemically treated hair. Okay, now for the finish, we're getting some makeup on, because after the hair is dry, we're going to shoot some still photos and videos. So that's, in the studio, I'm just diffusing the hair. I want a lot of root lift, but I'm not obsessive. So as I dry the hair, when you're diffusing the hair, the hardest part to diffuse is the hair at the root area. So I'll go in and I'll put emphasis on the roots first and then the ends. If you do ends first to the roots, that's possible, but it would be more challenging to get those roots, especially when the roots are still wet and the ends are quite dry. Then you might have a tendency to over dry the hair, and that will get the ends really frizzy. We don't want that. So we use enough mousse, enough gloss, some gel, just to hold the curl together and in place. Okay, and there we have it, our spring spiral perm. Enjoy.